Hi everyone, good evening. So today we'll be checking out Phoenix Point, which is getting released tomorrow. That's the 3rd of December. And this is basically an XCOM-like, that's the best way to describe it. And I can show you the intro, it's just that I have to restart the game in order to do that, because it plays immediately after you launch it. So let's check out the intro, shall we? I already put something like 30 hours into this game, so let's say I know my way around. And I'll talk about some things. The good and the bad. But so far, the way I see it, this is the closest thing to XCOM that's not XCOM, that's been released in the past few years. And there are definitely a lot of differences in the mechanics. Wait, will it not play? No, it should play.
In what may be the hottest year in history, scientists have recorded radical changes to the permafrost in Antarctica.
The Pandora virus, a so-called giant virus with the largest genome size ever recorded.
The crabs also display increased aggression, even towards larger predators.
A striking new weather anomaly has claimed many coastlines around the world. NASA is examining these clouds to figure out...
We've detected large amounts of an organic composite. So far, the sample doesn't match any of the DNA records we've compared it with.
We all saw it. Those creatures coming out of the sea on that oil rig.
The president has declared a national emergency.
It's obvious that what we're dealing with here is a biological weapon. As of today, we are at war.
It's taking their minds. I saw them walk right into the sea. Thousands of people. Thousands.
The mist is gone, but the city is dead. The roads are broken. You must join one of the havens. Do not attempt to survive on your own.
Is the volume fine? Should be fine. So, like I said, I already put quite a lot of time into this game, but obviously we'll be starting a new campaign here. The difficulty is actually quite brutal, but it doesn't start that way. In fact, the early game can be deceptively easy at first, but you definitely run into, let's say, some jumps in difficulty at various points. I won't say anything that would spoil it, but there are definitely jumps in difficulty at various stages of the campaign. So let's actually do the standard difficulty here, and I will skip the tutorial. We will talk about the basic mechanics, obviously. Yep, it's coming on tomorrow.
The Phoenix Project was founded on October 24th, 1945. The Second War to End All Wars was over, but there were those who understood that we could no longer afford to think in terms of nations and empires. For a time, the Phoenix Project successfully navigated the political conflicts of its era. That was our golden age. Phoenix Project operatives scoured the world for clues. We had bases in 24 countries. Even the heavens were not off limits. But out there, on the far side of the moon, began our downfall. The failure of the Phoenix 2 mission exposed us to our enemies in the UN. Stripped of resources and scattered to the winds, we were reduced to a secret, a memory. When the Pandora virus woke up, we should have been the first line of defense. When huge clouds of mist appeared over the sea, when people started vanishing, we should have figured out what was going on. And when those people started coming back, changed, hostile, alien, we should have been ready to fight, but we failed. The ecosystem started to change, imperceptibly at first, then faster and faster. 3 factions arose. New Jericho, trying to restore order and purity. Sanhedrin, hoping to build a world without hierarchies. And the disciples of Anu, a new syncretic religion dedicated to adaptation and biological change. At war with the world and at odds with each other, these factions cannot find a way forward. Now the mist is returning and armies are rising from the sea. Without the Phoenix Project, humanity will fall. It's time to rise from the ashes.
Alright then. So, as you saw from that cinematic, there are 3 factions in the game, and a lot of the game revolves around those 3 factions. I haven't actually made contact with them yet. And this is one of the biggest decisions you make in the game, because you can align yourself with 1, possibly 2. I was able to stay friendly with 2, but definitely not with all 3 of them at once, and you have to pick one of them first. And when you align yourself with one of the factions, you gain access to all of their research. So it's a pretty big decision, because their stuff is quite different. And they each have a special elite class, which you don't need to be allied with them in order to have access to that class. But when you get allied with them, you get access to all of their research immediately. So yeah, like I said, that's a really big decision. Also, so this is quite different from XCOM, very different in fact. When you start the game, you have this base over here. And you can have more bases later on, but you usually have to wait a little bit for that. And in order to see what's going on anywhere else in the world, you actually have to explore it and scan. So it will definitely take me a while to get to North America, for example. I can't just fly halfway across the world like you can in XCOM. That's not a thing here. You also have a base right here, which looks more like it did in the original XCOMs. And we might want to build something immediately. Now, from the 30 or so hours that I played, I find that one of the most useful buildings, maybe even slightly overpowered buildings, I'm not totally convinced that this is well balanced. But there's a building that basically gives all your soldiers currently in this base passive experience, just for being there and doing nothing. The training facility. And this can give you some early levels pretty quickly. So I find that this is the best thing to build as soon as possible. Preferably something you should literally start from. Then I will need more living quarters, because right now I can only have up to 8 soldiers from the 1 living quarters right here. Speaking of soldiers, we'll get to that in just a moment. Living quarters right here. And then we'll also need some food, which will have to wait, because I need more materials. So my soldiers are right here. You start the game with 5 soldiers, and there are 4 classes that you have access to right at the start of the game. There will be more classes later on. And here's a very important thing. Now, this is something I predict a lot of people will run into. A problem right at the start of the game, especially if you start the game on a higher difficulty level. Which, if you played a lot of XCOM on Impossible, for example, XCOM 1 on Impossible or XCOM 2 on Legend, then you might be compelled to start this on a highest difficulty, or maybe even second highest, and then you will run into the first big problem in the game. Which is only, well, it's definitely a big problem if you're not aware of it. Which is, you cannot recruit more soldiers initially. If any of your guys get killed in the first few missions you do, you are screwed. Like, you cannot recruit more soldiers until a little bit into the game. There will be an event, some research, you have to actually do stuff in order to be able to recruit more. So if any of them die in the first mission, then you will probably not be able to do like the next mission or the mission after that. Hey Milamber, thanks for the super chat, appreciate it. And also, if you played a lot of XCOM like me, because there's no actual indication anywhere in this game, like even if you played the tutorial does not tell you that you cannot recruit soldiers. So if you have 2000 hours in XCOM like I do, you might be just sitting here going like, hold on, where the heck do I recruit soldiers? Like, am I stupid for not seeing it? Where the fuck is it? Like, it's nowhere to be seen. How do you get more soldiers? I literally spent, I don't know, longer than I should have trying to figure this out. And I thought I'm like stupid for not seeing it. But as it turns out, you literally can't do it. And the game doesn't tell you. The way it works is that you recruit soldiers from the 3 factions. From their bases. But even once you find one of their bases, you cannot do it initially. You have to like wait a little bit. So this is a big problem. If any of you in the chat right now are going to pick up this game and you're going to play it, this is the #1 thing you need to know before you start playing. Like, you need to be really careful with your initial soldiers. If you lose them, you might find yourself restarting or skipping missions and falling behind. So that's like a big problem. It's only a problem because the game doesn't tell you. Like, I'm not criticizing the design or whatever, but the game really should tell you that you cannot do it. Anyway, we'll start some research. There's only one that we can do initially, atmospheric analysis, so we'll do that. And I think I got everything covered. I can check out the soldiers to show you. Now, just like in the first XCOM, like the original XCOMs, not the modern XCOM, every weapon has ammunition, and you have actual inventory on your soldiers. So this is another major difference between Phoenix Point and XCOM. You can literally run out of ammunition during a mission if you don't take enough. So that's something to know. Oh yeah, one more thing I should do is start some more grenades, because that takes a while. Medkits can be made instantly, but grenades take a little bit of time. And we all like explosives, don't we? So let's give this guy some extra ammunition here. We'll give everyone extra ammunition. There are some quality of life features, so you don't have to like figure out which exact ammunition item goes for which weapon. Because right now I only have 4 items in here, but later on you'll have like 2 pages. So you don't have to scroll through that and figure out which ammunition works for which weapon. You can just click this, and like the proper ammunition type will pop into your inventory. Or it will even get made. If it's made instantly, then it will get made in manufacturing. So that's nice. We will equip the medkits, because we might need them. And by might, I mean we probably will need them. Alright then. And I think that will do. Maybe one more grenade or so. Alright then. So now we can actually explore. So these question marks can be basically anything. It can be an event, it can be a mission, it can be an ambush, it can be a faction base. And you do have one area scan that you can use, which comes from satellite uplink. So we should probably go as far as we possibly can and then use a scan, let's say this way. So let's just use a scan here, and you can explore. There's the research, atmospheric analysis. Another thing is, I didn't quite talk about the classes yet, but this guy, the heavy class, the weapon he starts with is a heavy cannon, which is a weapon that does a lot of damage, but it's really damn hard to actually hit anything with it. And one of the earliest autopsies that you do unlocks a grenade launcher, which I also didn't know when I first started playing, so I didn't get the grenade launcher until like much later. Now I obviously know. But you definitely want to do like the initial autopsies of common enemies, because that unlocks some very useful gear. A grenade launcher is literally a new weapon type that you do not have access to initially. So, the samples of Anno. Yep, we got a mission here, let's do that then. So technically my ship here can carry 6 people, but I only have 5 right now on the roster. And you can have up to 8 on the squad. But in order to get 8, you need like a new aircraft much later on. Alright, let's get into the mission and we'll talk about some of the tactical mechanics. Also, I assume this will probably get fixed, but there's a funny bug in the game where if you set all your graphical details to ultra, the game will somehow downgrade them to low, and it looks like a potato. And like, I completely didn't notice that, like my brain like completely blanked out on the graphics looking like potato, and actually sent a screenshot of some bug or some other stuff to Unstable, who might or might not be in the chat. He works for Snapshot. And he's like, oh, it's this bug again. It looks like a potato. And I'm like, oh, you're right, it does look like a potato. I mean, it's not quite XCOM 2 level of fidelity, but it looks way worse than this if that bug kicks in. Like, it looks really terrible. And I didn't even notice that because I was like focusing on the gameplay and not on how the game looks. Like, I didn't even notice how bad it looks.
Ready for action.
Alright, so there are some similarities and differences with XCOM. Like, you might look at this blue-orange outline and think that, oh, this is exactly like XCOM, the 2 action system. But no, it's actually not. It's not. You have movement points, and you have 4 action points. And all this outline does is it tells you how far you can move and still be able to shoot. But this is not like XCOM. For example, one of the things you can do here, which changes your tactical decisions a lot, is you can move, then you can fire, and then you can move again. Firing does not end your turn. It's not the 2 action system. Movement points and action points are separate. So you can move, you can take a shot or 2, and then you can move again. So you can move out of cover to get a better firing position, almost like the hit and run ability in XCOM, or whatever it's called. So you can move out of cover, you can take a shot, and then you can move back into cover, which changes the tactical gameplay quite a bit. This is something you need to get used to if you played XCOM a lot like me. When I initially started playing, like, it took me some time to get used to it. So that's the first major difference that you will run into. Also, if you run like all the way and your dude spots an enemy, he will stop. Like, he will not run all the way and run into the middle of a group of enemies, which is nice. However, it still makes sense to not like move into the orange area, because you might want to still be able to take a shot. Oh, here, see, we got an enemy, and he stopped. So now I can decide what to do with that enemy. I think I can actually zoom in. Oh yes, I can actually zoom in, like this. Okay, that's like a fireworm, if I'm not mistaken. And here we got the second biggest difference between this game and XCOM, and something I quite enjoy. So, when you want to take a shot... Oh, actually, I do not have line of sight at the moment. You can actually see where you will have line of sight to the enemies, which is something that required a mod in XCOM originally. So if I move here, I will have line of sight. Sometimes it's wrong, but it's usually correct. So here's the other big difference between Phoenix Point and XCOM. When you take a shot at an enemy, or when you want to take a shot, you can just do it the traditional way. So like click fire and then fire, and that's that. But there's one thing that you might notice that's missing here, which is chance to hit. Like, where's the chance to hit? There's no chance to hit. That's because there isn't chance to hit in this game. The way it works is that if you go into the free aim mode, which is also a thing in this game that I quite enjoy, you will have these 2 circles. So you have a 100% chance to hit inside the inner circle and a 50% somewhere in the outer circle. And every bullet that you fire is like modeled individually, is like simulated individually. Which is quite neat, something I quite enjoy about this game. So, if you take a shot at an enemy, let's say you're firing with a weapon that fires 4 bullets, right? Every single one of them will be simulated individually. One of them might hit, the other 3 might not. But if the other 3 miss, they might hit something else. They will hit something else because something needs to stop them. So in that sense, there's also friendly fire. If you have like a group of enemies, and your own dudes, like bunched around, and you fire a machine gun into them, you might be aiming at one enemy, but you might hit several, you might hit your own guys. So I quite enjoy that part. And here we did 30 damage. That's probably like the weakest enemy in the game, but this game can have fairly brutal difficulty. Oh, there's another one over here. Alright then. I don't think I can get line of sight to that one. And here's yet another thing. There is Overwatch, just like in XCOM. However, unlike XCOM, Overwatch is directional. So you can set a cone. Which is really nice. Because one, it doesn't really make any sense that Overwatch is 360 degrees in XCOM. But also, you can set Overwatch in a way that will only trigger on a specific enemy, for example. Like you might have some weak-ass enemy to the side, but you might want to focus your Overwatch on some one specific enemy that threatens you more than others. You can set your Overwatch in a way that will not trigger it with some other enemies that you don't want to trigger it with, if that makes sense. So I quite like this system. Yes, you can also do this. But you can't have like a 360 Overwatch, that's not a thing. Like you can't Overwatch behind you. You don't have eyes in the rear of your head. Alright, so let's maybe... Oh, I can't get line of sight with this guy at all. Alright. Well, he can Overwatch, that's fine. We'll do that. Yeah, they are like just behind some obstacles. Which means I cannot actually target them. Alright. That's fine. We'll just do this. Also, snipers, from my experience, tend to be really powerful in this game. One, because of how their targeting system works. Their accuracy is really good, so you can target specific body parts. We'll talk about that a bit later. Because you can actually target like specific body parts, and you should, that's a big part of this game. But also, a sniper can move, not a lot, but he can. He can move, he can fire, and then he can move again. And they are usually very accurate. And the nice thing here is that not only you can target specific body parts, you can like disable somebody's weapon. You can literally shoot off his arm. And he will lose his weapon. You can shoot the actual weapon itself that he's carrying and destroy that weapon. This goes both ways. You can have your own weapon destroyed. Especially with explosives, but not just with explosives. So that's definitely a thing here. I think the easiest way to deal with this would actually be throwing a grenade. But maybe that won't be necessary. Alright, let's see if we can do it without a grenade. So I will not be using like the free aim every time because that's not needed. Especially since this particular enemy only has like one body part, the torso. Because it's literally a worm. So there's not much point using free aim over here. But free aim is a big part of this game, and making decisions of what exactly you want to target on an enemy. That's a huge part of the game. Alright, one more. Actually several more, but they are to the side. Also, the difficulty tends to be, let's say, quite dynamic. So just because I see these fairly weak enemies in this mission doesn't mean that the first mission is always like this. It very much is not. I'll put it that way. This is like the easiest first mission that I had so far. And I experimented quite a lot. So yeah. Oh yeah, this is the weapon on the heavy, which... This weapon is only really good from close range against big enemies. Like, it can do a ton of damage, so it's great when it hits, but it misses more often than not. So I like to swap it out for a grenade launcher. Yeah, see? He can't even hit this enemy because it's so small from range like this. So it does a ton of damage. Can you run out of ammo? Yes, you can! Absolutely, you can. Ammo is a pretty big part of this game. And you can also be, like, over-encumbered. So, your backpack space is limited, but you also have encumbrance. Which depends on your strength. And strength is something you can spend your actual skill points on. I'll show you once I actually level up, which I should pretty soon. Yep, here's another one. And see? He stopped immediately when he spotted an enemy, so I like that. You don't have to move like tile by tile, like people often did in XCOM on highest difficulties, especially XCOM 1 on like impossible. Like you had to move super carefully. It's still a good idea not to like run all the way across, because if you spot an enemy like right at the end of this movement range, you might be kind of screwed and get yourself into a bad position. But you don't have to move like tile by tile or anything like that.
I'm going.
Can you customize squad members' appearance? I haven't played with that too much. We can check that later. Nice shot. Not. It looks like this mission is only just like worms, which is the easiest first mission I had so far. Even when I played on a lower difficulty, that was still harder in some respects. Some of the enemies can be really rough in here, as you will probably see later. There are some fairly creative enemies, I put it this way. And some really infuriating ones. I won't spoil anything right now, but there's one enemy in particular which is like really infuriating. I would say 2 enemies.
We got them.
Yeah, the heavy is such a weird class early on. Like I said, he can do a ton of damage, but only if he actually hits, which he usually does not. Yeah, see, this time he hit. But most of the time, with that weapon, he just misses. That's been my experience.
Holding position.
I would say worse than gatekeepers. There's one variant in particular, because another thing about this game is that enemies have like variants. So you can have like the basic enemy type, like for example the mutant in XCOM. So imagine if the mutant could have like 4 different variants, where he has like completely different body parts, different functionalities. That's kind of how it works here. It will get more obvious once you see more than just a worm. So there's one late game enemy variant in particular which is really infuriating. Like if you get pissed off easily, then this game might not be best for you. I'll put it that way.
I'm going.
Oh, way worse than priests. Like way worse. Like it's a rage quit tier enemy. I'll put it that way. I think we're almost done here. Nice shot. Not. Alright then.
5 by 5.
That should be the last one. Probably. Can be that bad? Oh yes, it can. It was pretty bad when I first ran into one guy in particular. And there's one moment in the game where you run into a fairly big jump in difficulty, which I did not expect when it happened, when I first ran into it.
The Onceborn to check them out. But I'm gonna break protocol to say thanks. Now listen, I'll be honest with you. The Exalted is the only one who has any real...
Alright, so this is one of the
Bias
factions.
West, maybe? If you want to work with us...
And you will run into a lot of events in the game, and opportunities to both increase and decrease the faction attitude towards you, which is important, because later on you are able to align yourself with a faction. You need to have 50% or more. And once you get 50% or more, you get all of their research. Because as we play the game, you might notice some messages that pop up, that this or that faction started or completed some research. So they unlock technologies on their own. And once you get 50% or more, you can get all of those technologies instantly. There's still a way to get them, if you don't get allied with them, but if you do, you get all of them instantly. like all at once. But that comes like much later. Alright, so here's the autopsy. That's not really one of the important ones, but it's here regardless. Let's do the samples of Anno research here. Alright, so this is the scan. It will slowly expand. It's not like instant or anything like that. And I can only have one running at a time. Alright then, let's move on. And I'll need to do a few missions before I'm able to get more soldiers. Here's a scavenging mission. Oh yeah, and we can level up, because we got level 2 on these guys. So when you level up, you can get both a new ability here, from level 2 in this case, but you can also spend your skill points on actual attributes, which is strength, willpower, and speed. So strength, as you can see on the tooltip, determines the hit points, how much you can carry, and how far you can throw like grenades and stuff. Then we got willpower, which determines will points. Will points are used for abilities. So for example, the heavy has like a jetpack kind of thing, and that uses 2 will points. So that's willpower. And then we got speed, which is fairly self-explanatory, how far you can move in one turn. And then the abilities themselves also cost skill points. Another interesting thing in the class system here is that, unlike in XCOM, you can multi-class, or to be more precise, you can have 2 classes at a time. On some classes you even have to pick the second class. When I get to level 4, I can pick the second class, and that will give me like a secondary choice of an ability. I will have a third choice of an ability. So that way you can create some synergies between various classes. And there are some interesting synergies later on. From what I played so far, the biggest power increases you get in this game are not necessarily from gear, like weapons, armor, because the increase in weapon power is not actually that huge compared to XCOM, I would say, but the biggest increases in power are from level 6 and level 7 abilities. Like this one, Rage Burst. Shoot with a proficient direct fire projectile weapon using all remaining ammo in the weapon's magazine. There's a machine gun weapon later on, with like a huge magazine with a shit ton of ammo in it. So using Rage Burst with that is pretty damn powerful, to say the least. Obviously it uses ammunition, but this is some of the biggest power increases that you get in this game, from level 6 and level 7. Anyway, here we can pick up Brawler, which is extra melee damage, or Assault Rifle Proficiency. Like, I'm not a huge fan of melee weapons here, and there aren't that many good ones that I will have later on, so I'll just pick up the Assault Rifle Proficiency here. Even though I won't be using an Assault Rifle just yet. And then we can get some Strength, some Speed. Strength is definitely good to have, because that's more hit points, more survivability, and a little bit of extra willpower. If your willpower drops to 0, you actually panic, which is not so good. And the other level 1 perk is additional +2 to Strength. So that can actually be more efficient once you get more Strength here, because as you can see, I think this cost will increase past certain level. Yeah, now it's 11, so when I have 21 or more, it would actually be more efficient to spend 20 points to get Gymrad for +2 Strength, rather than spend 22 points to just put them in here. So there's that. Anyway, that's this guy. Then we got the Sniper. We got Extreme Focus. Overwatch cost is reduced by 1 action point. I really like that one. And Expert Thrower. I won't be throwing too many grenades with my Sniper because, like, he's a sniper. He's not supposed to be close. Extreme Focus is nice, though. That's some really cheap Overwatch. And with Extreme Focus, you can move into, like, an area where you otherwise would not be able to take a shot, and then use Overwatch. So you can take a shot even though it's too far away to take a shot normally. Alright. Also, there's Stamina, which you lose when you do missions, generally speaking, And when your stamina drops too low, because you do too many missions in a row, you will lose like 1 action point during that mission. So you can still deploy that soldier when your stamina is like at 5 out of 40, but he will only have 3 instead of 4 action points, for example. And mind you, yes, there are 4 action points in this game, however, don't let that deceive you, because a lot of weapons require more than 1. Yes, there are weapons like pistols and such that only require 1 action point to fire, but a lot of weapons require 2 action points, sometimes 3 action points to fire. So just something to keep in mind. Assault rifles require 2 action points to fire, which means if you don't move, like you can only take 2 shots in a turn with that weapon. And with a sniper rifle you can only ever take 1 shot in 1 turn. So just because you have 4 action points doesn't really mean it's that much more compared to XCOM. It just works differently. It's a different system. Alright, so in this mission we need to protect crates. I assume we'll have other enemy types. Almost certainly.
Comms online. Be right there.
Alright, let's move then.
5 by 5. Here we go.
Yep, we got some enemies. Right here. Yep, quite far away. However, that's where the sniper comes in. I might be able to take a shot with my heavy. But yeah, his chances to actually hit are really low. If he can hit, he will do a ton of damage, but he probably will not. And here's the action point cost. And here's his ability that uses willpower. That takes 3 action points and 2 will points. But you can jump to any location within 20 tiles, which can be quite useful. I can jump onto a roof, for example. Can be quite nice. I could jump up here if I wanted to. Yep, obviously he missed. I mean, I didn't really expect that to hit. I will swap out that weapon as soon as I can. I'm not a fan of that weapon. I'm sure it has its uses, but I'm not really a fan of it. Alright, can we get line of sight here? Yes, we can. Alright, so now I can show you how we can target different body parts. Well, first, let's show the info panel. So here's the info panel of that enemy. And they have different body parts. Each body part has its own stats. He doesn't really have a lot of armor right now, but his torso has 10 armor, as you can see, which basically subtracts damage. If your weapon does 40 damage, and the enemy has 10 armor, then generally speaking you will do 30 damage. But the other body parts do not have any armor. And also, if he's carrying a weapon, and you shoot off his arms, then he will not be able to use that weapon. So that can be a good strategy against some enemies. Or maybe you might want to focus fire the body part with the lowest armor, like a head for some enemies. That's a thing. Because once you like disable a body part, you can still do damage to like the global health pool of that enemy through that body part. So like if you quote-unquote disable his torso, for example, like you can't destroy a torso and not kill an enemy. That's not a thing that happens. But if you disable the torso, where it has 0 hit point, 0 armor, you can keep firing at the torso and you will do damage to like the global health pool of that enemy. So you can focus fire an enemy through like one body part, so to speak. Which can be useful against some enemy types later on. Here we can see his weapons. So if I disable his head, then I will disable the weapon that he uses with his head. He also has a grenade launcher, which I can destroy. And he has a pincer, which I can also destroy. You can destroy all of these things. Which sometimes is worth doing, because some of the weapons are really nasty. Some of the enemies will have grenades, and you can destroy the grenades. And grenades can do a lot of damage to you, I'll put it that way. He's a little bit too far away for me to really target anything specific right now, but I might be able to hit him anyway. There. See, I hit him. Was that actually enough damage to kill him? Yes, it was. Alright then.
I'm on the move.
So Overwatch. So like, there are a lot of mechanics that are different than in XCOM, but the game still has that XCOM vibe. Because, let's be honest, this genre is not exactly mainstream and super popular. I mean, how many big games came out in this genre in the last 5 years? Not really that many. Out of all the ones that did come out, so far, like, this is probably the best one? Or at least, it's not like a copy-paste of XCOM with a different paint job. There are a lot of mechanics that are different. But it still, like, plays XCOM enough, so to speak, if that makes sense. Having said that, there are some issues and bugs. But, like, the biggest complaints I have with this game fall into one of the two categories. One of them is quality of life, which the game does a decent job with. And the other is mostly, like, balance problems. But the overall, like, global design-wise, the game is solid, definitely. The biggest complaints I have are balance-based, which, like, can be fixed easy enough in patches, or maybe in the future with mods. I'm not actually entirely clear on what Snapshot's future plans for mod support are. I can probably ask them later. Or maybe Unstable is in the chat, I don't know if he is. But yeah, like I said, the overall design is solid. My main complaints are balance-based, mostly. And hey, I only got like the press copy like less than a week ago. And I put like 30 hours into this. I wouldn't have put 30 hours into this if it was a bad game. I'll put it that way. Okay, so now the objective here is to protect the crates. I probably won't be able to protect all of them, especially this one, since he is now inside the building. Now, one of the things you can do with this free targeting system is you don't actually have to target an enemy. Like, you can target literally anything you like. You can target a wall of the building. Like, you can literally blow off a wall of the building with your weapon. In XCOM, you can, like, destroy a wall with your actual weapon, not with explosives, but with your actual gun. You can kind of do it in XCOM, but in XCOM you have to target a specific enemy. And if you miss that enemy, then maybe you will, like, shoot his cover and destroy his cover, that can happen. But here you can literally target a wall with your actual gun. Like, go into free target mode and you can target a wall. Like, some of them might be tougher to destroy than the others, but you can do it. And I quite like that. Anyway. Right, can I even get line of sight to any of them, literally? No, I don't think so. Yeah, see, this guy is, like, blocked by the wall. I don't think I can get line of sight. Alright then. Also, yes, you can stand in cover like this, and there's still a concept of, like, low cover and high cover. But since every, like, bullet and projectile is simulated individually, like, anything that's kind of on the way between the enemy that's firing at you and you, like, can block the projectile. And some weapons are fired, like, from the hip, the machine gun, or, like, this weapon the Heavy is using. So, like, this weapon will have the tendency to hit, like, low cover objects, while an assault rifle will not, if that makes sense. That's just something to keep in mind.
I'm on the move.
Alright, well, I definitely can't really target them on this turn, so we can run a bit closer. Maybe not too close, but close enough. Maybe I can throw a grenade on the next turn. We'll see about that. Okay, just in case he decides to move towards me instead. And you can run with the sniper. Here, the sniper can actually target the other guy on the next turn. Let's see if he will decide to target me. I'm curious how the AI will make a decision here. Because He does have a ranged weapon, does he? A Spitterhead is like a super short range. No, he actually does not. He has like a grenade launcher, but it has effective range 11, which is pretty low. The Spitterhead is like super low range weapon, and this is a melee weapon, so he will not target me. And as I mentioned earlier, each enemy has many different variants, so they can literally have different body parts. It can be the same exact enemy, but for example, instead of this melee weapon that they are using here, they can have like a shield and a machine gun or whatever. So it will, oh yep, there's the grenade. See, that was quite a bit of damage, and it damaged my equipment. So now if I check info, which one was it? It's not destroyed, but it's damaged. So just something to keep in mind. I can throw a grenade back at him, which might be a good idea here. Also, one thing I quite like about the game, even though it's not like strictly true 100% of the time, but generally speaking, Phoenix Point is not designed around alpha striking, which is a pretty big difference compared to XCOM 2 and XCOM 1. Because XCOM, especially on highest difficulty levels, is a lot about alpha striking. Like, you have to kill some particularly dangerous enemy before he fucks you up, right? Here, that's not really the case. There are definitely some enemy types that you might want to kill like before they get a chance to mess you up, but generally speaking, it's not about alpha striking. So that's a pretty big difference right there. So if you're not a fan of alpha striking in XCOM, you might enjoy this more. Alright, let's throw a grenade ourselves. This will also destroy the wall, and it will damage him. See, we did 50 damage to his launcher arm.
I'm here.
And now I could actually target... I could target his pincer and destroy it, then he wouldn't be able to use it anymore. I could target his launcher arm, and then he also wouldn't be able to use it anymore, or I can just kill him. He doesn't have a lot of hit points, so it doesn't really make any sense to target a specific weapon, but later on, when enemies have like way more health, it definitely makes sense to destroy their grenades, for example. Grenades can be really dangerous, because even if they don't kill you, they can destroy your weapons. Can we bring Bob into this game? I hope so. Alright, and the other guy. He also had a launcher arm. Maybe I can, well, either kill him or neutralize that if possible. Oh, see? The game actually lied. It said I will have line of sight from this style, but I did not. That happens sometimes. Not very often, but it can definitely happen. What's this guy? Oh, over here, right. That's a third one. That's the one that was attacking the box. So yeah, I probably won't be able to destroy the launcher arm. No, it has 80 health, so definitely not. I could try to shoot off his actual arm. It's fairly unlikely, because as you can see, the circle is pretty big. But I can try! Oh, yeah, there it is! Oh, I actually killed him. Good. Now, what about this one? I do not have a grenade on my sniper. I also cannot target that one directly. So Overwatch might be my only real chance here. Alright. Also, this weapon can be really dangerous in a situation like this, because if I use Overwatch like so, I then risk hitting my own guy, which can literally kill him. Like, straight up. This weapon can kill your own guy, if you get really unlucky. And knowing my luck from XCOM, I don't think I want to take that gamble. I'll put it that way. So yeah, remember when I mentioned recruitment? If you get hit with like 2 grenades or 3 grenades in the first or second mission, lose half of your squad, you're kind of screwed. Because it's kind of tough to do a mission with 2 or 3 soldiers, and you cannot get more until a little bit later. So, if you start playing on higher difficulty levels, you really need to keep that in mind. Like, for any of you who are considering picking this up, this is the #1 thing to keep in mind. That you cannot recruit soldiers initially. You have to wait a bit. And the way recruitment works is that you go into a haven like this, there will actually be like an icon on the map, so you don't have to go into 10 different havens individually. But you go into a haven like this, and there will be like a soldier available to recruit on one of the districts. That's literally how it works. And you have to pay some resources to recruit that person. So that's how recruitment works. They don't like pop out of a thin air, like from some indescribable place. They are from actual havens. Now, if I look at my squad, if I want to heal up, I need to go back to my base, but we should be fine. Famous last words. Let's do some training. So, expert rifles and handguns. That is actually nice. Move to a target position within half of the normal movement range. That can also be nice. I can take both. Instead of spending points on strength and speed, for example, I could take both. Having said that, I do like to have some extra strength and speed, especially strength, because that gives you more hit points, and more survivability is never a bad thing. Next up, expert packer, carry 25% more maximum weight. Yeah, I'll pass. Now here I could pick up expert rifles and handguns. Alright, sure. And some strength. There. There's also like the Phoenix skill points pool, which works pretty much the same way as it does in XCOM. You can spend your global pool for any soldier. I tend to save it for later, but you can spend it early on if you like. Alright then. Research is still underway. I think that was the... yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the autopsy you need for the grenade launcher. I mean, they literally use a grenade launcher. So that makes sense. But it's one of the first autopsies that you need to do to get a grenade launcher. And here we can see that I discovered a new unexplored site, because the scanning area is expanding. Here's another haven, and as you can see it has different facilities. You can also raid bases. So I could raid their food production, and you can see what the outcome of that would be. So there will be an attitude change on our victory, but I would get slightly more like opinion with the other two factions. Having said that, I will not be doing that right now, because that would be silly. But you can do it. They also have like research facilities. These guys do not, but some of the bases have research facilities. And you can raid their research facility to speed up your research. You can do that. Like, generally speaking, I think Phoenix Point is a more, like, non-linear game compared to XCOM. Especially since, depending on which faction you ally yourself with, you will get access to, like, very different technologies.
Research complete.
So it can be a pretty big decision, actually. Alright, I'll let this play. This is about one of the major factions.
Where others saw devastation, they saw hope. Where others saw the end of the world, they saw a new beginning. Their leader called herself the Exalted, and she claimed to believe in humanity. She preached that the human soul was perfect, that the root of our problems was our insufficient evolution. The Pandora virus was a threat, but it was also an opportunity to change ourselves, to become better humans, to mutate. We knew that humanity needed to adapt. There was no other way to survive. The disciples offered a solution, but what was their end game? There was something beyond their hierarchies and their rituals. The Exalted had a secret.
What is important about the mist status? Missions inside the mist tend to be harder than other missions. It basically mostly affects difficulty. Which the game will tell you, actually. If you get a mission inside the mist, it will literally tell you. Yeah, here, warning. Scavenging missions are much more dangerous within a mist zone. So I don't have to do this. I should be fine. Famous last words. See, if I lose soldiers here, I will not be able to recruit them yet. Because before you are able to recruit, you have to do a research project. Which is not even available yet. Yeah, it's not even a thing yet. I did finish my research queue, however. But we can give it a shot. 144 health. That's my sniper, though. I think I'll be okay. Alright, let's just do it then. You'll be fine, Marbs, just go? Uh-huh. I totally believe you. I mean, this is still like super early game, so it shouldn't be that hard. But the difficulty can definitely go up and down, it's quite dynamic. Alright, so the objective here is to also protect the crates, which means I don't have to rush too much. We can see roughly where the enemies will be coming from. So that's worth keeping in mind. Yeah, I should definitely be careful with my sniper and such. Let's send this guy forward. He needs to be closer to the action to actually be useful with that weapon of his. It's not really brilliant.
On the move.
Alright then.
Covering.
That will do. Okay then. Well, that's one way to destroy that. That is a lot of damage. Also, later on in the game, it's worth paying attention to like how many enemies there will be inside the mission. Because without spoiling anything, especially for those of you who like didn't follow any development or any early builds, and you don't know what to expect later on, if you see a low enemy count later on, that's not necessarily a good thing. Let me put it that way. Just because a mission has very few enemies, that doesn't mean it's a good thing. That's actually a very, very bad thing. That's all I'll say. Is there a bleed out mechanic? Yes, there is. There are actually quite a few status effects. I can actually show you, once I'm back on the Geoscape, how many status effects there are in the Phoenixpedia. There are like 7, 8 of them. There are quite a few. Okay. Well, I blew something up. Certainly. It wasn't the enemy, but I definitely blew something up. Can my sniper target him? Maybe, maybe not. Also, as you probably noticed, there's no such thing as pods in this game, like in XCOM. That's not how it works. Every enemy is alerted individually. And sometimes there are enemy types you might want to avoid alerting. Like, if I didn't take that shot, I wouldn't necessarily alert that enemy. Or let me rephrase that. Just because you can see the enemy, doesn't mean you alerted that enemy. Like, there's no stealth mechanic in the same sense as in XCOM, but there's still... Like, stealth is still kind of a mechanic, and it's a stat, sort of. But it's not like in XCOM, where your entire squad begins concealed, and then you lose concealment or whatever, like, the enemy will either get alerted or not. He might hear you or he might not hear you. If you create a big fuck of explosion next to him, then he will obviously hear that.
Ready to fire.
But I didn't have to alert him if I didn't want to. Okay, so this guy has a pincer. I assume he has the grenade launcher. It might be like on the other side. In fact, let's just check the info panel. Oh no, he does not have a grenade. Oh no, he does. Launcher arm, okay. This guy also has the launcher arm. Alright then. Can I target his launcher arm? No. Okay, well, let's just try to hit him to begin with. They don't have a whole lot of health, so I might be able to kill one of them. There it is, and now he's bleeding, which means he will take 10 damage per turn, unless something heals him up. Can you reconcile yourself and start hiding again? Well, see, that's not really a thing. You don't conceal and reconcile yourself. If you alert one enemy, like the other enemies on the other side of the map didn't hear that if they are that far away. Like, they might go around doing their business, like attacking their crates. Just because you attacked one enemy doesn't mean the others will hear you. It's like on a per enemy basis.
Identifying target.
Alright, that should hopefully kill him. Yep, there it is. One down. Now let's see if we can do some damage to the other guy. And when it comes to neutralizing enemies, like, there are quite a few different strategies, so to speak. If you have an enemy you know is dangerous at close range, and he's very far away from you, you can try to shoot his legs. That definitely works, if you can shoot off his leg. I've done that before. They will move around, yes.
On my way.
Alright, I think that will do. Oh hi, yep, here's another new enemy type. And he flanked me. I don't think he will be close enough to use a grenade. But I might have to use a grenade myself, because he's on the other side of this wall. Okay, this guy. Let's take a look. That's a Triton. So he has a pistol, a handgun, which only requires one action point, which means he could shoot up to 4 times in one turn if he doesn't move. And he has a paralyzing arm, which has a very low range, but it can paralyze you. And he also has an ability where he becomes invisible when dealt damage, as in when you shoot it. Which is quite an annoying ability, let me tell you that. So what happens is that when you shoot this guy for a lot of damage, he will just literally go invisible and move slightly. You can reveal him, but like, he will go invisible and chances are you will not be able to finish him off. It can be a bit tricky. So let's try to target that guy first. See what we can do. I could try to shoot his leg, or I could just try to shoot roughly like this, just to make sure I will hit. So, see, there are several things I can do. I could try to shoot his leg, for example, but then I risk missing. If anything at all is inside, like, if he's not all inside this big circle, then you do not have a guaranteed hit. You have a chance to miss. But if he's all inside this entire big circle, then you will hit unless something bugs out. But if I shoot like this should be a guaranteed hit. I might hit his arm, I might hit his head, I might hit his torso, but I will hit. So I can go either for like his leg, or I can go for a guaranteed hit. Like this. I disabled his head. As a side note, I would really like to know How exactly do you disable somebody's head without killing him? Just nitpicking. But you know, I would like to know that. Alright, what about this fella? Now I can shoot the actual wall. That's a thing that I can do. Or I can just go for easy mode and throw a grenade. Because reasons. No, that didn't actually kill him, but he's bleeding. So in theory he should die. But I think I would prefer to finish him off anyway. You know, just to make sure he will really die. Like, in theory it's safe to just leave him alone right now. But screw that. Just kill him. Alright, then we got the Triton. He's still out there.
I'm on the move.
So let's just overwatch in this general direction. Oh, I see Unstable is in the chat, so if you guys have any questions, you can ask him. Because if you don't know, he works for Snapshot. Oh, here's another guy. Okay, then. Well... in theory, I could throw a grenade, and I might hit the Triton, even though I don't know where exactly the Triton is. But I might still hit him blindly. And I will hit this other guy at the same time. Let's just do that then. If I get lucky, I might hit them both. Oh yeah, there we go. That was pretty nice. Now, you will miss shots. If the entire enemy is not inside like the big outer circle, then you'll have a chance to miss. You have a 100% chance to hit somewhere inside the smaller circle, and a 50% chance to hit somewhere like in the big circle. Unstable can correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, I still got the heavy. But he can't do a whole lot here. Well, he could throw the grenade. This might be a bit of a waste of resources, because grenades are not exactly free. You have to like manufacture them, and it takes 5 hours. But you know what? Let's just throw it anyway. Here. Now he's bleeding for 50. Hopefully that will do the trick. Yep, it will. We still got the Triton. Who has the most health around here? Not you. This guy. But he's like semi-useless. Where's that Triton? Huh, okay. Alright.
5 by 5.
Let's send one person in this direction. I don't think that will be the last enemy. I'm not actually counting how many enemies there were supposed to be in this mission. And how many I actually killed. Yep, this is the release build, the press build, or whatever.
Let's roll.
On my way. Providing overwatch.
I assume he will come back to shoot me right now. Does this game have vehicles? Yes, it does! Absolutely it does! And they can be pretty nice. You can actually build one right away at the start of the game. Oh, and here's one of the more infuriating enemies in the game. I killed him. But that's basically a facehugger. Like, they are called differently. Mind, whatever. But it's a facehugger. And he mind controls you. So you literally have to shoot your guy in the head, sort of. And hope that you will hit the facehugger and kill it, instead of shooting your own guy in the head. It's one of... I would say this is the most infuriating early game enemy. Because this can pop up like pretty much right at the start. You can have them in the first mission. I had a first mission that I almost lost because it had like 3 facehuggers that I didn't expect. So it's definitely one of the more infuriating enemy types that you will run into. Okay, where the heck did that Triton go? It's out there somewhere. But yeah, if you don't shoot that facehugger, your guy will stay mind controlled. Here's some loot, don't exactly need any of that. So I tend to prioritize facehuggers, generally speaking. Yeah, brain suckers in XCOM Apocalypse. I remember those guys.
Holding position.
It will be available tomorrow.
On my way.
That Triton is still out there somewhere. Wait, did he bleed out? No, that's the one. I'm confused. This kind of looks like a Triton. Maybe he actually did bleed out. Alright.
Ready for action.
Hopefully no more brain suckers. I'll just play it safe because I can't recruit yet. And I don't want to take too much damage. Because with only 5 soldiers I can't exactly rest either. I mean, I can, but then they won't be available for a mission, or I'll have to skip a mission. Alright, that will do. Yeah, that's a Triton, because he had a pistol. I still can't see him though.
Online.
Not a whole lot of cover around here. Also, I can use a medkit to heal myself, which honestly might not be a bad idea. However, medkit is like a single-use item. It's not like in XCOM where you make one medkit and you can use it until the end of time. It's a one-charge item. You can make it instantly, but it's not free to make. It's one of the few items that you can manufacture instantly, other than like ammunition. But you still need to pay for that in like production. Is it any good? Yeah, like I said earlier, the overall design is really solid. My only complaints are related to game balance and maybe some quality of life. But it's the most XCOM game that's not XCOM that's out there. Like in the past 5 years, this is the most XCOM game that's not XCOM in terms of mechanics that's been released.
Taking aim.
Okay, so now he's hiding behind that cover. Might be best to just throw a grenade, but he is a bit far away. Oh, there we go, we can target the head. Or maybe his pistol. It only has 75 health and 20 armor. If I can hit the pistol with my sniper rifle, that will destroy the pistol. I disabled his arm, okay. And now he disappeared, as you can see, that's his special ability.
Repositioning.
I don't know what the actual hardware requirements are, but I don't think they are very high. Pretty sure that's going to be the last enemy now. Let's find out. And I should be able to recruit soon. We'll probably have to do at least one more mission before recruiting anyone. Okay, where are you hiding?
I've got a visual.
That should do the trick. Done. So are we done? Yep, we're done. This might give me level 3 on someone. Yup. So, we got 300 production, 200 research, some ammunition. Alright then. So now I could go back to the base, and heal myself up a little bit, which might not be a terrible idea. Also, I'm down to 20 stamina, and if your stamina drops too much, you will lose action points. So you will have 3 instead of 4. Quick aim. The action point cost of the next shot with a proficient weapon is reduced by 1, and the accuracy is increased by 25%. That is quite nice. Well, especially a sniper. Let's get some more strength here, and at least 10 willpower. Can't go wrong with more strength. Alright then. I'm still researching. Yeah, Mindfragger, that's what they are called. But it's a face hugger. Alright, let's make a few more grenades maybe. Each one costs 12 materials, which is not like a whole lot, but it can add up. Not to mention it takes 5 hours to make one grenade. And here you can see that the factions are starting some research projects. So once you get 50% like influence with a faction, you will be able to get all of the research instantly. Which is a big power boost, but that happens later in the game. And here's an objective that I could already accept if I wanted to sabotage a base of another faction. I will not be doing that right now, but I could! I could do that. And here's another base. Oh, I think that's actually like a neutral base, if I'm not mistaken. With a mission. Yeah, we can do that. Alright, we can do that. Not sure if I want to do it immediately. Oh, it's very far away, so maybe not. Never mind, that's too far away. Also, I never actually started the food facility here. Where is it? Yeah, no, not that one. Where the heck is it? Yeah, this one. Food production. I didn't actually start it because I didn't have the materials. So let's build one. Also, there's one problem that I don't think is intended, which is the layout of the base is kind of random, and you have these like spots that are blocked. However, you can only build new facilities in areas that are adjacent to other facilities, which means this one will stay unusable basically forever. It's completely unusable. I cannot use it ever. And like, this isn't clarified anywhere or anything like that. I don't know if this is actually intended or not, honestly. Okay, exploration site. Our operatives report seeing a strange, spindly, quivering line on the horizon. When the manticore gets closer, they discover a gargantuan spinal column extending hundreds of meters into the sky. Rising up from a pole of mucus, it holds itself in place with an array of thin, near transparent tentacles. Yeah, thanks for that image. It seems to emit a low hum. Okay, dynamite it, study it. Let the disciples know about this. Let's study it. Plus 100 research. Yep, I'll take it. Research is almost done. There, done. So now I can start the autopsy. It's technically not done yet, but I can queue it up. Pretty sure this was the one for a grenade launcher.
Research complete.
Yeah, now it's done.
Randall Symes was the last leader of the Phoenix Project. His great-grandfather had been there when it was founded, and he was there to witness its end. When we took back Phoenix Point, we found his notes. In his final days, as the world collapsed around him, he'd been working frantically to understand the Pandora virus. Somewhere in the complicated history of the project, in decades of missions and investigations, there had to be an answer. His notes were damaged, too many of the files corrupted. But perhaps, if we could retrace his steps, we could figure out where his journey had taken him and what the answers he had discovered would mean for us.
Okay then. Yeah, that adds another mission. I think I might just go do that immediately. It's close enough. I could heal up a little bit first. Nah, screw it, let's just go and do that. I don't remember this mission. This is one of the missions that, like, you always get early on. Hey, hold on, let me check my equipment first. I should have the medkits, the grenades. Yup. Okay, this should be fine. Let's just do it then. How about some training? Does anyone have some points? Nope. Alright, let's go. So, here we are. Yeah, this is like basically always the same. This mission, that is. It's one of the special missions. Let's see. So the objective here is to find the journal, but I will focus on actually killing the enemies first. Yep, we got one already. Right here. Okay. That should be easy. I assume he will have the grenade launcher. Yep, he does. This poison attack, or acid attack, is actually quite dangerous as well. But it's super short range. I think I can kill him quite easily. How long has the stream been up? 1 hour 23 minutes. Alright, let's maybe shoot his launcher arm, in case I fail to kill him. It doesn't have any armor anyway, so that makes sense. But I'll try to get like a guaranteed hit. There. Yep, that will do. I destroyed the launcher arm, so now he cannot use that weapon. Like, I literally destroyed it. He does not have that anymore. This is just in case I somehow fail to kill him, because that's probably the most dangerous weapon they have. But he's dead. Alright.
On my way. Repositioning.
And let's maybe just stay in cover, use Overwatch.
Covering. Providing Overwatch.
That will do. Pretty sure there won't be any enemies in this direction, but like just in case. There's some weird guy hiding behind the tree. Yeah, but there is one hiding behind the tree. Alright. He didn't actually do anything. But he's there.
Advancing.
Okay, this one should be pretty easy to take care of. Leg. Yeah, I can't really target his weapon, but I should be able to just straight up kill him easily enough.
Ready to fire.
Alright, let's just straight up kill him. Yep, he's dead right away. Nice. So there's one inside the building. Overwatch should take care of that. Hopefully.
Standing by. Be right there.
I'm just staying outside for now. That's definitely not the last enemy. And there's no rush.
Overwatching.
Oh, yep, here's another one. That's a Triton. And he has a different weapon this time around, as you can see. Not a pistol anymore. Wait, is that a Triton? Yeah, that's a Triton because he has like the tentacles. Okay. They do have quite a bit of health. I might need a medkit. Yeah, he went invisible after I shot him. And here's another one. I might need a medkit here. Okay. So this guy has an assault rifle, which does 40 times 4 damage. Like 4 burst means it's 4 projectiles, each one does 40 damage. And there's one invisible guy inside, and I might want to heal myself. Especially my sniper. Now, I don't have to heal him with his own medkit, I can use somebody else's.
Ready for action.
Let's see if we can put this stupid cannon to good use. Like, if I could hit this, this would do a ton of damage. This could, like, straight up kill the Triton, but as you can see, my chance to hit isn't even that good. I have a pretty damn good chance to just miss this completely. But it's 160 damage. If I can hit. I'm not a fan of this weapon, I prefer the grenade launcher. But you just... oh yeah, we did. So I killed it instantly, but I had a good chance to do literally nothing. And with a grenade launcher, you can pretty much guarantee being able to do something. Anyway, I'm going to use the medkit here. Definitely don't want to lose anyone. And I don't think I can kill any enemy right now anyway. No, not really. So let's move into cover and just use a medkit. Done.
Holding position.
Alright, and just Overwatch. One more. Yeah, this invisible guy might come at me, so let's Overwatch in this direction as well. And he's wounded, which means he will die fairly easily if I can hit him. Yeah, that guy is shooting me and I can't even see him. Disabled head, alright. How exactly do you disable a head without killing somebody? I would really like to know that. Yep, I killed it. Nice. Glad I used that medkit, now I might need another one, apparently. Because he's bleeding. Well, okay. Head disabled, 0 health on his head. 0 health on your head seems a bit concerning. Like, that's definitely a serious medical issue. But hey, I'm not a doctor, what do I know? Let's just reveal this dude. Yeah, there it is. So now I can shoot him. I don't have this quick aim thing. I think I would prefer to heal myself. Yeah, that's another Triton. We need to reattach the head. Yep, sounds about right. So now I can move out of cover into line of sight, take a shot. This is fairly unlikely to actually hit, but still, it's an assault rifle, it shoots 4 times in a burst. Let's take a shot. Here, one of them actually hit, and I disabled the leg. So that was a good shot, even though my chance to hit was relatively low. But because it was an assault rifle, at least one bullet hit. So now I can heal my other guy again. He can heal himself, actually. To remove the bleed, if nothing else, but also give him full health. And I can still use Overwatch.
Overwatching.
Can't get shot in the head if there is no head? Yeah. Well, actually, technically, you can still shoot someone in the head even when it's disabled. So it's Schrodinger's head. It's there, but it's not at the same time. That guy is legless now? Oh, you mean my guy? Yeah, didn't notice. Oh, you mean like the Triton?
Hostile.
Oh yeah. One of his legs is disabled. Alright then. And he's bleeding for 10. Alright, let's just kill it. Should be easy enough. I'm pretty sure he will bleed out now. I didn't quite catch his remaining health. But he had a less than 20, I'm pretty sure. Yes, he moves slightly after cloaking. So he won't be exactly where you saw him last. He might be elsewhere. He will be elsewhere.
Sprinting.
Alright, let's just move a bit closer. That should be the last enemy, but that won't actually complete the mission. I have to go upstairs and pick up the actual journal. Because that's what we're here for. And just in case this is not the last enemy, I'll try to be careful. Yep, he died. Okay, so let's just go upstairs. It should be here if I'm not mistaken. Now, another minor complaint, like this is a fairly minor complaint, but one of the mission types, like other than special missions like this one, is find the object. And there's one particular case where you have to find 4 objects. And the problem with find the object mission is that even if you kill everything on the map, the game does not tell you where that object is. Sometimes it's fairly obvious from the actual mission layout, but not always. And there's one particular case of a mission type where you have to find 4. And they only seem to pop up in a specific sequence. So I had one mission where I killed everything on the map, and I had to like run through the entire map like 4 times, because I had to find 4 objects in a sequence. So I had to backtrack to an area I was already in before, because like the object only popped up when I picked up the previous one, which was a bit silly. I killed everything on the map, but the game doesn't tell you where it is until you get closer to it. So like that's a bit silly, and I wasted quite a lot of time on that. So that's one of my minor complaints in terms of quality of life. Not a huge thing, but it was fairly infuriating when I ran into it. It should be here actually. Or maybe it was downstairs? Oh yeah, it's right here. Oh, that's like the top floor actually. So one more set of stairs. Hold on. How the heck? Oh yeah, right here, there's a ladder. I'm pretty sure I killed everything, so not much point setting up Overwatch. This is a fairly small map, but the map I'm referring to that I was doing was really damn big. And it was find 4 objects, not just 1. It's a minor complaint, but it was irritating. Like, it felt like I'm just wasting time pointlessly, because I already won that mission. There was no timer, there were no enemies left, there was literally nothing. It was just busy work to finish it. Can you loot enemy weapons? Yes, you can. Plus 100 tech, plus 300 materials. And a new mission. Well, 3 new sites added. This will be quite far away.
As the world fell apart around us, it was difficult not to feel guilty. Some chose to be proactive and fight, but not me. I came here instead. My best weapon is my mind, and I need silence to put it to work. The history of the Phoenix Project is a complex tapestry. In Russia, Turkey, Britain, Spain, not one unbroken lineage, but a tangle of organizations, each passing the torch to the next with only one goal: to protect the human race. But protect it from what? Did they know about the Pandora virus, and if so, how? The answers are out there. So much has been investigated and collected and analyzed, but it's all scattered, lost. I don't know if it's possible to track it all down, but I have to try. There's only one thing I'm sure of. I can't stay here anymore.
You can salvage weapons, yes. And you actually have limited storage space. Right here, you can see that I used 39 out of 200 of my storage capacity. So if I want to, I can just like destroy stuff. Drag here to scrap. I can scrap my grenade and get 6 materials back. So that's a thing. Alright, more training. Warcry, that's a pretty nice one. All enemies within 10 tiles have their action point allowance reduced by 1 for the next turn. And 10 tiles is actually quite a lot. Yeah, more strength is never a bad thing. Next up. Return fire. Oh yeah, return fire is nice. Shoot back at an enemy when it attacks, provided the soldier is using a direct fire projectile weapon with proficiency, and the enemy is within half perception range. So basically this allows you to shoot back at the enemies without like having to use Overwatch and stuff. It's like reaction fire when he shoots at your guys. He can shoot back, assuming he's within the required range for return fire. Alright, we'll pick that up. And same thing, return fire. And at level 4 I will be able to pick up a secondary class to get some more options for my ability choices. Okay, I'm down to 12 stamina now. I will need to recruit some guys soon, but I can't do that yet. Here, this is the research that you need. Haven recruitment protocols. So I will prioritize that immediately. Because without this, you cannot get new soldiers without this. You just cannot. It's not possible. You can't do it. It might make sense to go back to the base for a bit. How's my health? And my health is fine. I mean, I did heal myself with the medkits. It's just stamina that's not really fine. Oh yeah, living quarters are done. So now I can have up to 16 soldiers. And the scan will be done soon. Then I can start a new one. Lost Expedition. Broken remains of an experimental Synedrion mobile lab, okay. Salvage the equipment without informing them. That's one of the factions. Inform the Synedrion regarding our discovery, give them the equipment. Take everything useful and then inform them. Let's take everything useful and then we can inform them. +4 attitude and +175 tech. Okay. I'll take it. Also, I was going to show you status effects earlier, if I can find them. Here are the damage types. So there's standard damage, there's blast damage, there's shock damage, there's poison damage, there's acid damage, there's paralyzed damage, there's virus damage, fire damage, shred damage. Then you got like pierce value, psychic damage, status effects. Here's a breakdown of status effects. Right here. There are a lot, as you can see. Like, they don't even fit on one screen. There's acid, which corrodes 10 armor per turn. If there's no armor, then it does damage to you. Bleeding, you lose health every turn. Burning, Fair damage is applied to each body part at the start of the turn, subtracting armor. Frenzied, speed increased by 50% and immune to panic. Good, unable to move until good decays or is removed. This is one of the most infuriating status effects in the entire game. Like, screw this status effect. This is like rage quit territory in some situations. But it doesn't pop up until quite a bit later in the game. Infected by virus, at start of turn virus is subtracted from will points, then virus value is reduced by 1, so it drains your will points basically, which are used for special abilities. And you panic if they drop to 0. Panicked, unable to move for a turn while recovering hit points, will points. Poisoned, at the start of your turn, poison is subtracted from hit points, then poison value is reduced by 10. Preparing, this is for enemies only, so they activate their ability on the next turn. Berserk, this is just for like one type of enemy. Enraged, same thing, alerted enemy only, so they become aware of your presence. Tired, caused by entering a battle with low stamina, -1 action point on each turn. Whoops. Then we got Exhausted, which is like a worse version of low stamina. You get -2 action points. Then there's Paralyzed, which is fairly self-explanatory. You can't move or perform actions. Dazed, action points reduced to 1 and accuracy halved. Some melee weapons can cause enemy to become dazed. And Overwatch. Overwatch, you know what that is. So right now I got 12 stamina, which should still be fine. But yeah, I need to finish that research as soon as possible, and then like find more dudes. There's no guarantee there are any available in the bases I already know about. What's ahead? What's happening here? Agree to the exchange, -10 tech. Yeah, alright. And we got some info about scavenging sites. Okay, that's not too bad. 3 hours. Let's see if there's anyone available for recruitment. Actually, I don't think I will be able to see them until this research is completed. Let's find out.
Research complete.
Pretty sure, yeah, now I can recruit soldiers from Havens. So this is what you need to do to be able to recruit soldiers. And we did how many missions? How many missions did we do? 4? I wasn't counting. But this is the point where you can actually start recruiting soldiers. And you can't recruit like unlimited amounts. And here, there's an icon on the map. We can see that there's a soldier available for recruitment here. And if I spend 41 tech, 470 minerals and 200 food, I will be able to recruit him. And that's quite a lot of materials. I don't even have that many right now. So I would have to salvage some of my stuff. Or I would have to do a mission or an event. Hopefully we'll get some from this, whatever this is. Oh, well, here's another one. Yep. Let's maybe start a scan. Thanks to these sites, I can actually start a scan, like literally here. Not yet. Area scan. And we could actually do this. Low threat level, no mist. And this should give me enough materials to recruit at least one more person. That should be fine. But then I will most likely need to rest a bit at my base, because my stamina will be super low. Alright, well, let's do this then. Should be fine. If you don't have enough stamina to have 4 action points, you get a warning before you go into the mission. I don't have the new weapon yet, no. My current research should give me the grenade launcher. Alright, so here we are. 9 crates this time, alright.
On my way.
Won't be rushing this, that's for sure.
I'm going.
How big is this map? Okay. And the difficulty of these missions can be very, very different depending on what enemies you get. Like, if I get several, like the face suckers or whatever, and they actually catch me by surprise, that can be rough. That can be really rough. Especially when you have to shoot your own dude in the head to try removing it.
Be right there.
And you can't ignore it, because your guy will be mind-controlled. So, like, the brain suckers are really dangerous. Definitely the most dangerous enemy type right at the start of the game, I would say. But mostly combined with other enemies. Because you can't just ignore it. Okay, so there are two guys literally on the other side of the map, okay?
By 5. I'm on my way.
Can't actually see anything yet. Let's just sprint a bit. I'm sure it will be fine. All these walls are blocking my line of sight.
Advancing.
You know what I need? A battle scanner. That would be nice. Wrong game, unfortunately. There's kind of something similar, like later on one of the advanced classes, if I remember right. But it's not quite the same. Well, at least they are not throwing grenades at me, so that's a good thing. That's quite a few dudes right next to each other. Shame I don't have the grenade launcher yet. But line of sight might be a bit of a problem here. Yep, still can't see much.
No time to waste.
Okay, this seems fine. I don't want to alert them just yet.
Comms online. I've got to be quick.
Overwatching.
Providing overwatch.
There we go. Yep, that's a Triton with a pistol. Okay, and I assume this guy will have a grenade launcher. Yes, he does. In fact, that's like the only ranged weapon he has. And a pincer arm. Might be worth trying to kill him. But easier said than done. I could use War Cry and target at least the Triton with it. That would remove one action point from him.
I'm here.
What about the sniper? Yeah, I can't actually shoot this dude unless I destroy the wall. Which I might or might not be able to do. I could do it with a grenade. Possibly. Yeah, these should explode, I'm pretty sure.
Let's get this done.
I mean, they are dead. So, according to video game law, they should explode. If they don't explode, I'm calling the police. They did not explode. What the heck? Come on now. That's the law, they have to explode.
Ready for action.
That's illegal. I didn't do anything to that wall. I can kind of target that guy.
Repositioning.
But we'll see. Yeah, I cannot target his grenade launcher because it's like behind the wall. I could try to target his leg, but it's very likely that I will miss if I do that. And he will probably still be in range. So let's just try to maximize the chance to hit. There. I destroyed his pincer, which I don't really care about too much. But we did it anyway. We still got the Triton on the left, but I really don't want to get hit with a grenade. And I will if I don't finish him off. So throwing another grenade might be my best option here, that's what I'm thinking.
I'm on the move.
Okay, well, no, it's just damaged, not destroyed. Yup. Well, that's disappointing. I don't think I'm even in range to use one more grenade. Pretty sure I'm not. So it might be best to just spread out, so that he won't be able to hit more than one soldier with a grenade. That's probably best, just spread out. That's the only weapon he has left, like he doesn't have anything else. So he will either do nothing or throw a grenade. It's probably going to be the later rather than the former. Anyway, let's do some damage to this Triton then. My sniper can't target anything else anyway, so that makes sense. Let's see. I could shoot the leg. Like this. That would even be a guaranteed hit, basically. Where's his weapon? Right here. I could try to hit that. Which might work. Let's try that. Here. That might work. There's a decent chance I will destroy his pistol. Which means he would have to use his paralyze attack. Which requires, like, melee range, basically. Nope, I actually missed. Well then. That's very disappointing. Okay. Well, let's try... Oh yeah, this is like one problem I ran into a few times. Sometimes you can take a shot at an enemy. However, if you go into like a free aim mode, because of the way it works, you will not be able to do it, because the wall will technically block it. But the wall will not block your other shot, because he will sidestep to take that shot. So I can still take a shot, but I can't use free aim. Which is a bit weird, like I don't know if that's intended, maybe Unstable can comment on that. But in this specific situation here, I cannot use free aim, I can only take a regular shot. And he went invisible, good. So now, I guess I'll just... wait. Let's try to spread out. That's about as spread out as I will be. I can still use Overwatch here, which probably won't do a whole lot. But who knows, maybe it will. Is he close enough for Warcry? No. Wait, is he not? He is! Let's just use that then. That will remove one action point from him. There. Yeah, he took some damage from the bleed. Yeah, he will use the grenade. I mean, like I said, he didn't have anything else. Fortunately, it didn't do a lot of damage. That's my heavy. Pretty sure he has the most armor out of anyone here. The normal shot is like stepping out and firing quickly without really aiming. Okay, that makes sense. And there's the brain sucker. See? Now I kind of have to shoot it. Otherwise my heavy might target me. And his weapon is really nasty. Like, I do not want him hitting me with that. So let's use a pistol and try to shoot that brain sucker thing. However, yeah, I have the wrong angle here. I can still try, sort of. It's fairly unlikely to work, but it might. Yeah, see, I hit my own guy in the back, which is not a great thing to do, unfortunately. I don't want to use an assault rifle, because that means 4 shots, which will shoot him in the head. Not something I want to do. I can also move closer and then take a shot with the pistol, which might be my best option. The downside is that I will be standing like kind of in the open after that. I can stand literally right next to him and then shoot him. So that might work. At the same time, this guy in the back here will also have a grenade launcher. And if I end my turn with too many soldiers standing next to each other, they might all get hit with a grenade launcher, which would be bad. So this is like a really bad situation to be in. This is what makes mindfraggers really dangerous, especially early on, but at any stage of the game. And he wasn't there, like I didn't even know he's out there. He just came from around the corner and attacked me, and that's it. That's what happened. And if I use this pistol, I give up my shot with the sniper rifle, which is my highest damage weapon. This is just like a really bad angle here. If he was facing me, this would be way easier. Let's try to do it. Yeah, enemy spotted. Here's yet another enemy. Now I really don't want to do that. I might actually use the assault rifle, which is not great, but I can heal myself afterwards. Like, my options are kind of limited. So let's just do it like this. Sorry, buddy. That will kill the mindfragger. It might also, like, disable my head, but you have to do what you have to do. Yeah, I actually... yeah, 26 damage, but that's okay. Unfortunately, he can't move after that. And he has 155 health. So that's also not great. Okay, let's use quick aim to increase our accuracy. I still won't be able to use my primary weapon, unfortunately. But this guy... I might just shoot him in the head. Great. Okay, never mind. That's better. Now he will go invisible again. So what about this stuff back here? I do have a grenade, but I'm too far away to use it. This guy has a grenade. No, he can't use it anymore. That's the one who killed the mindfragger. I can't do much about these guys in the back right now. I can't really do anything about them. Hopefully they won't kill my heavy, because they might. It's a possibility. I could heal him up right now. I could do that. Or I could try to do some damage. Might be best to try doing some damage. Try to make the Triton go invisible and move. No, I cannot. I don't think the barrels will explode. They didn't explode from a grenade, so, like, it's unlikely they will explode for anything at all. They would have exploded by now. Oh, I don't actually have to move. I can shoot from where I'm standing. Yeah, but this is... not a great chance to hit. Let's try it anyway. Okay, 40 damage. He will go invisible and move slightly. And then I can go for Overwatch. Okay, and that leaves me with one more dude in the back. I still got one more shot I can take. Yep, launcher arm. I would have to get really lucky to disable that. I can still try, but it's very unlikely to happen. I would have to hit it twice. Okay, wait, just damaged, not destroyed. It was pretty close. Yeah, there's the Triton. I moved close enough to reveal it. I'll just have to ignore it. I can still use dash, however.
Crunch time.
That will do. It does use will points, quite a lot of them, but that's okay. I moved out of the way. And since they do have grenades, let's just move out of the way in general. I suspect they will target the heavy, because he's the most exposed soldier I got. But at least I can actually recruit those right now. Which floating icon? Not sure which one you're talking about. Oh, yep, nice shot. There's no actual 2-hit chance in this game. You have like 2 circles. The inner circle, you have 100% chance to hit somewhere in the inner circle, and the 50% chance to hit in the outer circle. That's how it works here. And each projectile will be like simulated individually. Alright, I can actually kill the Triton with the pistol, I think. He doesn't have a whole lot of health left, so that should work. Anything with no armor. Seriously? How on earth did you miss? I'm pretty sure he was all like inside the circle here, but apparently not. There. Yeah, that would be nice if it told you like how much of it is inside, because sometimes the problem you can run into is that you think you have a guaranteed hit, but as it turns out you actually don't. And sometimes I'm pretty sure it just bugs out. So that's the one issue I run into. Anyway, what about this? Like, what the heck can I do here? I still got some grenades. That might be the best option. Okay, let's just go for it. Okay, that's pretty good.
I'm on the move.
No, this is a recent press build.
On my way. Covering.
They still have a grenade launcher, which concerns me slightly. I could technically take a shot at him. Might not be a terrible idea. Let's take one shot. There we go, that was pretty good. And now I can move back into cover. Or at least move out of view. And hopefully Overwatch will finish him off. No. He had one job. Yep, and he will use the grenade, damn it. Alright, fine. Fortunately, we are almost done, as far as I'm aware. This might be the last 2 enemies, in fact. You can't, like, they will not explode. I literally hit them with 3 grenades. Like, I can show you. Oh, now they will explode. Hold on, why did they not explode when I literally blew up a grenade on top of them? Hey, Unstable, you might want to look into that, because that's kind of silly. Like, I literally blow up 2 grenades right on top of them, and they did not explode. What is that all about? Okay, well, that's a thing, apparently. Yeah, fix your game, damn right. Oh, here's the weapon we got from one of the enemies. And 300 materials, so now I can recruit at least one guy. Oh, no, they are still there. You want explosions with your explosions? Damn right I do! I like explosions, okay? So that's like the assault. I was hoping to find a sniper because I only got one so far. But I guess this will have to do. I need more dudes, so this will have to do. Alright, let's go back to base and I'll have to leave at least one guy at the base. Maybe just sell some stuff and pick up the other one. Okay, here's the equipment. Now, he does have a weapon that I didn't actually research yet, which means I cannot make ammunition for it. I can still keep it while he has the ammunition, but it's probably best if I swap it out. That's what I'm thinking. I can't even swap it out right now because I'll have to manufacture one more weapon. Yeah, I can't get quite enough materials right now. Ammunition only salvages for like 4 materials. That's not enough. Let's actually use this one. I will also have to research this, but I can still use it. Like, I can't make ammunition for it, but I have some ammunition, which means it will work. Just need to keep an eye on the ammunition. So, training. That will be return fire again. Okay, that will do. Research is still underway. Yeah, see? I can reverse engineer these 2 weapons. The assault rifle and the shotgun. I might actually stay at the base for a bit, because I have 5 stamina. That's just not enough. Yeah, let's just stay here for a bit. I need to recover some stamina, or I'm a bit screwed.
Construction complete.
Here, that's much better, 25. And I don't even have to swap anyone out, because I can bring 6. Let's wait until like 30 at least. Okay, that will do. Now we can go explore. Maybe this way. Not too far away from the base. I should be able to get the grenade launcher pretty soon. Stop a group of rampaging soldiers. Okay, we can probably do that. Sounds reasonable. Shotguns are not too bad, but I don't like their low range. They're good if you combine them with another weapon. Alright, kill all enemies. Sounds fairly straightforward.
Repositioning.
Now, some of them will probably be inside the building, if I had to guess. Really sucks only having one sniper. Snipers are so good in this game.
I'm here.
Probably my favorite class, not counting some of the advanced classes later on. Alright, let's just play it safe here.
Providing overwatch.
Yep, here's one. But he's like on the first floor. Let's just go inside, actually. Okay. He might come downstairs.
Sprinting.
All set. Double time.
Nothing outside. Well, if he comes downstairs, he will have a surprise waiting for him. Actually, I don't want to overwatch with this, because I don't want to hit myself. That would be bad. Maybe in this direction.
Providing overwatch.
I might have to go upstairs myself.
On my way. Ready for action.
Well, I guess we are not in a huge rush. So let's set up downstairs.
I'm on Overwatch.
Also, this weapon I salvaged is actually pretty good right now because it does slightly more damage per shot, which is important against armor. Well, there he is. I might be able to see him from the outside right now.
5 by 5.
Maybe, maybe not.
Advancing.
I can throw a grenade at him. Yeah, there he is. So... I could shoot him. Oh, I can't shoot him. I could throw a grenade at him, though. Which might not be a bad idea. Let's just do that. Here.
Comms online.
And let's send one person upstairs.
I got this covered.
Ready for action.
Alright, this should do. If he comes back inside, I'll have Overwatch waiting for him. And just in case anyone shows up here, I'll be waiting. I really need that grenade launcher, but it's coming soon. Okay, he's still up here. Well then, I should be able to shoot him now. Yeah, there it is. "24 armor, yeah, 23 armor, that is quite a bit of armor. Let's just try to hit him at all.
I want you gone.
Yeah, not too bad. It looks like he has return fire, which is why he took a shot at me. What does he have here? The bulldog. Some armor. Yeah, basically 24 armor on everything. Can I finish him off? I can't actually get line of sight. No, I can. This might not actually kill him, but let's try.
Ready to fire.
This is 40 damage per shot, so it's better against armor. Close enough.
More?
Moving to position.
I might not be able to get line of sight anymore. Oh, no, I can, from the outside. Just barely, I think. This should kill him if I can actually hit. There it is, nice, got him, but that's just one.
Let's roll.
Let's just go upstairs then. Oh yeah, you should be able to destroy the floor. But we killed him anyway. That was a more reliable way to do it.
Here we go.
Oh, hi.
I see them.
Well, enemy spotted indeed. Please don't shoot me. That's just rude. Here's return fire from me, but we might need a medkit.
Let's go then!
Yep, I definitely need a medkit here. Somebody else will have to use that. Heal the right person, though.
Receiving loud and clear.
At least he will die fairly easily. I could probably kill him with this stupid cannon. But I'm slightly paranoid about hitting, like, my own dude or something like that. Still, maybe we can actually put it to good use. That one time. This should be a guaranteed hit. There it is, and that kills him instantly. Like, it's a good weapon when it actually hits, which it usually does not. So I'm really not a big fan. I will swap it out for a grenade launcher as soon as I can. Let's take a look outside. Looks fine. But we only killed 2 enemies so far, which is not really a whole lot.
Let's roll.
Will this be on Xbox Game Pass? I don't know. Unstable, I'm sure, knows the answer to that question. If he's still in the chat.
I'm on Overwatch.
I think it might be on Game Pass. I don't know, actually. Yeah, it will be on Game Pass. So for anyone who doesn't know, if you never had Game Pass before, you can get Game Pass for PC for like $1 for the trial month. And there are quite a few good games, like The Outer Worlds is available on Game Pass. That's literally what I did. I got the trial month for $1 and I basically played The Outer Worlds for $1. Pretty damn good deal if you ask me.
Here we go. Hostile spotted.
Alright, here's another guy. Oh yeah, same issue as before. Wait, no, I actually can't target him at all. What? Okay. I'll have to move into the room. Fine. I could target the weapon, but that will not destroy it. Yeah, that's quite a lot of health. Let's target the arm. Yeah, not quite enough damage because of the armor. She will shoot back because of return fire, I guess.
Advancing.
Yeah, now I need to move downstairs. Hold on. Oh, there's a hole in the floor. I could probably try to shoot like a hole in the floor myself. Not sure how reliable that will be. But it's an interesting idea. I mean, I guess I can try? Let's see if that's actually going to work or not. You know, just for science. I can target the floor. I actually don't know like how hard it is to destroy the floor with a regular gun. Yeah, that didn't do a whole lot. I guess it's fairly hard. Never mind then. Well, there's still a hole. But I can't kill him, I don't think so. Alright. I don't think he can kill me either, so that's fine. Oh, I can use Warcry. Reduce his action points by 1. Let's do that. That is quite a nice ability. 10 tiles is a lot. Especially inside buildings. He didn't have grenades, did he? No, or she rather. Just double checking. You know, another nice thing, a small thing, but something I like compared to XCOM, you can actually use cover while standing on a slope. Like on the stairs. The technology is actually there, amazing. You can use cover while standing on stairs. Truly amazing technology. Right, one last guy. That's pretty much all I can do here. I can set up Overwatch.
I got this. Eat that sucker.
Hey! That's not very nice. Well then, let's just heal ourselves.
I can't breathe.
Let's shoot that arm, shall we? There it is. I don't think that was enough damage. Yeah, I didn't actually hit the arm, I hit the weapon. That's fine. I can try to use the cannon, but I really don't want to hit myself with it. Okay, this looks fine. No, this is not fine. Well, I can use it like this. I will not risk hitting my own guy in the head, because that would kill him instantly. Like, that's a terrible, terrible idea. So, this might miss, but at least I don't risk hitting my own guy. Yep, it did miss. Okay.
Change tactic.
Well, you tried. There was an attempt.
Targeting.
I hope this is like the last enemy here. Let's try to destroy that weapon. That wasn't quite enough. Yeah, that laugh. That's a weird laugh.
Heading out.
Can I take any more shots? Well, I can with a pistol. My sniper was just one tile too far away, sadly. 5 health on the weapon, come on! Destroy it already, and that's a miss. Are you kidding me? I just need to hit it, that's it. And missed again. That return fire is really irritating. Not gonna lie. I don't think I can get a kill. I don't even have a lot of soldiers left that I can use. I have 2 soldiers left, but one of them is out of range, I think. Or maybe not. Apparently I can shoot through a hole in the wall. There. But I risk hitting my own guys. No, I don't. This should be fine. Not quite enough damage, but it will do.
Oh, I'm way too good at this.
All that armor makes her quite tough. Okay, I would like to at least destroy the weapon. Because I'm pretty sure he or she doesn't have any other weapons. No, she does not, so all I have to do is do 5 more damage to the weapon. Like, this should be almost a guaranteed hit here. There we go, nice. So now I destroyed the weapon, which means she has no weapons left, literally. So she can't do much of anything, basically. She didn't even try to run from the looks of it. So you can neutralize some enemies without actually killing them, and we are done. Yep. Level 4. I think that will allow me to pick the second class.
I had always assumed the Phoenix Project would return one day, even after Symes disappeared. It seems to be the defining pattern of your history.
Oh yeah, that's the new Jericho faction. Plus 600 materials, nice. I needed that. Now I can recruit one more person. Doesn't look like I can get a sniper. Well, alright. Let's get one more. $470. Yeah, these are quite expensive. That was more than half of my materials right now. But now I can leave one person at the base. Is the training facility done? Yes, it's done. So now whoever is on the base will gain passive experience every hour. This is like a really good facility. This is the first thing you should build. Definitely. Anyway, we are actually at 2.5 hours right now. So I think what I'm going to do is end this stream here and do another one tomorrow. We can do also 2-3 hours tomorrow. I think that will work better than one super long stream. So thanks for coming, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed the game so far, after putting around 30 hours into it. Like I said earlier, for anyone who wasn't on, this is pretty much like the closest thing to XCOM that's not XCOM that was released in the past few years. There are a lot of different mechanics that make it a very different game from XCOM, but it still scratches that XCOM itch. So anyway, thanks for coming again, I hope you enjoyed it, and see you tomorrow for part 2, roughly around the same time as today. So good night.